I'm Francine Rodd, Executive Director for First 5 Monterey County, and I've been asked to speak on the future of Monterey County and nonprofits. Wow, what a task. Because some days from where I'm sitting, the future is pretty hard to see. So first, we had the pandemic, COVID-19. That's literally stopped us in our tracks. It stopped us long enough and hard enough that we could no longer ignore the centuries-old racial inequities that have existed in our country for centuries. It stopped us long enough to see the disparities on video, horrendous inhumanities, as well as on paper, the inequities among those who have been affected and not affected by the pandemic. The result has been that as a community, we have been struggling to make the best decisions for our families, for their physical health, their mental health, education, childcare, and the overall well-being of our communities. And yet, one of my favorite quotes from Martin Luther King Jr. says that it is only in the darkness that we can see the stars. At First 5 Monterey County, we have seen the darkness and the stars. We have seen the struggles and the resilience of our families. We recognize the interconnectedness of all of our work for the success of our children and families. This now means access to quality, affordable childcare, health care, jobs with a living wage, arts, culture, food, and I didn't mention yet education. And in education, we now have parents who need to support their children, teachers who need to teach in a different way, devices that are needed for our children, and access to internet. This also means then that a lot of folks are going to need additional mental health support and a lot of empathy. All of these areas are intertwined. They're all connected, and they're all essential. Now is the time for us to be considering them as essential. And as the song Glory states, now is the time to right the wrongs of history. And I truly believe that it is the nonprofit sector working with government and business that can put us on the right side of history. I'm inspired by the work being done around me by the youth organizing for social justice, by the helpers, by the givers, by the workers in Monterey County. We have shown that we are ready to begin to think deeply about race, equity, diversity, and inclusion. I'm really heartened by the way that we're recognizing that our mental health is as important as our physical health, and that employers are understanding the extra strain that is being placed on parents and teachers at this time. I'm encouraged that families are seeking ways to find joy for their children, and that we're pulling together as a community to address challenges that we never thought we would be facing a few months before. We do not yet know what the future holds. We do know it will be different from today. And we know that the nonprofit sector has the ingredients to adapt to whatever challenges the future might throw at us. In fact, what we're seeing now is that people and organizations are adapting rapidly to an ever-changing environment. This is the creative thinking that will help us move forward together. We are so interconnected. We live in a beautiful county where you know someone who knows someone that you also know. By continuing to build on those connections, by deeply listening and caring for one another, we will create a thriving community where fear has no hold, the impossible is possible, and all belong.